History made in a shower of gold confetti. A dominant sweep through the heartland sends a message to the entire pit area. A driver so hot he might just melt the tires off the car. And on the high banks of Daytona, a photo finish that sealed the fate of a dozen drivers and set the stage for a championship run. What a week in motorsports. From a 19-year-old kid joining the king, Steve Kinser, in the record books at the Gold Cup, to a red-hot Parker Price Miller who simply cannot be beaten right now, the action on the dirt has been off the charts. And just when you thought you could catch your breath, NASCAR delivered one of the wildest playoff cutoff races in recent memory. Complete with a bizarre relief driver victory and a wreck-filled nail-biter that had drivers watching their championship hopes hang by a thread from the garage. We've got it all to break down. The wins, the wrecks, the history, and the silly season news that is already shaping the 2026 landscape. I'm Russ Fritz and telling you, you better strap in tight because this isn't just racing. This is Switchin Grooves. This week was the week that was. Here are the in-depth race recaps. Over on the high limit side of things, we've got the King of Chico and the West Coast Breakthrough. As the high limit tour's Western swing was dominated by two powerful narratives, the historic coronation of a young superstar at one of the sport's most prestigious events, followed by a veteran's emotional breakthrough in the Pacific Northwest. Well, a legendary three-peat at the Gold Cup. The story of the week belongs to Corey Day. The 19-year-old phenom from Clovis, California, put on an absolute clinic at Silver Dollar Speedway's 71st Gold Cup Race of Champions. His dominance began on Thursday's preliminary night, where he put on a dazzling display, charging from an 8th place starting position to pass championship leader Brad Sweet for the win with 12 laps remaining. That performance was merely the opening act. In Saturday's $100,071 to win finale, Dave faced his toughest challenge yet. After starting on the pole and leading the first 4 laps, he was passed by fellow Californian Justin Sanders, who looked poised to steal the crown. As the track began to take rubber around the halfway point, though, Day knew he had to make a move. On lap 23, he pounced on from a slight bobble from Sanders in traffic to retake the lead for good. In a veteran-like drive, Day masterfully saved his tires to the end, while others, including Brent Marks, Tanner Thorson, Gio Scelzi, and Rico Abreu, all suffered flat tires before the finish. The victory secured his 3rd consecutive Gold Cup title, a monumental achievement that put his name alongside the legendary Steve Kinser as the only drivers in the 71-year history of the event to actually win 3 in a row. Brent Marks actually broke through in Oregon. Following the emotional high of the Gold Cup, the High Limit Tour traveled to Oregon's Douglas County dirt track on Monday, where a different story unfolded. Brent Marks, a perennial contender from Pennsylvania who had never won a race on the West Coast, finally broke his drought in a dominant fashion. After winning the dash to start on the pole, Marks trailed Sanders for the first 6 laps before taking command on lap 7. From there, he was untouchable, leading the final 29 laps to claim the $12,000 victory. Behind him, Tanner Thorson continued his impressive run with a runner-up finish despite issues with his wing slider. Corey Day provided the night's fireworks, earning the Hard Charger Award by storming from 18th to finish on the podium in 3rd. And over on the high limit side of things, well, controversy and a classic in the Dakotas. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series made its annual trek to the North Dakota for a weekend that delivered both a Race of the Year candidate and a major controversy. Kofoid actually capitalized at River Cities. So on Friday night at the Bull Ring of River City Speedway, Buddy Kofoid emerged victorious, but the win came with an asterisk for many. Sheldon Haudenschild was dominating the race when he made contact with the lap car and spun into the infield. In a controversial decision, race control did not throw a caution flag, deeming Haudenschild's car to be in a safe position. This handed the lead to Kofoid, who had charged from his ninth starting position. Kofoid went on to hold off David Gravel for the win, sweeping both 2025 races at the track, and a frustrated Haudenschild did not finish the event after confronting officials. The Stenhouse Junior Marshall racing team made a statement following the night by attaching a tall red ATV flag to the car to ensure officials would see them in any future incidents. Kind of funny if you ask me. But Saturday night at Red River Valley Speedway, it actually produced what many are calling the race of the year. In a spectacular duel, Carson Macedo and Sheldon Haudenschild battled fiercely for the win. Macedo ultimately prevailed with a late race pass, grabbing his third victory in the last 4 races. The thrilling finish was a perfect rebound for Haudenschild after Friday's disappointment, as he secured a strong runner-up finish, while Kofoid capped his stellar weekend by finishing third. David Gravel recorded 2 podium finishes over the weekend, maintaining his solid standing in the championship points race. Over on the All-Star side of things, well, it was the Parker Price Miller show. The All-Star Circuit of Champions has a new driver to beat, as Parker Price Miller is currently the hottest sprint car driver on the planet. Coming off a win at Paragon Speedway the previous weekend, PPM extends his streak to 3 in a row with a perfect weekend sweep. His run began on Friday at I-96 in Michigan. In a thrilling feature, Price Miller traded the lead multiple times with veterans Tim Schaefer and Cale Thomas before ultimately pulling away to secure the $7,500 victory. But he wasn't finished. The tour traveled to Waynesfield Raceway Park in Ohio the following night, and PPM did it again. The race was a wild, slide job filled affair. Cap Henry appeared to be cruising to the victory until disaster struck with a flat left rear, tire, actually ending his chances with only 7 laps to go. PPM, who had just moved into third, inherited the lead on the restart and masterfully held off a hard-charging Devin Borden to claim his 3rd consecutive series win and 4th of the season. So, switch your grooves over to NASCAR. Well, playoff chaos, and boy, was it. The NASCAR regular season concluded with a pair of dramatic, unpredictable, and unforgettable races at Daytona International Speedway that set the 16-driver playoff field. And on the Xfinity side of things, well, a bizarre win. Friday night's Xfinity Series race produced one of the most unique results in recent memory. Series points leader Connor Zilisch, just 2 weeks removed from surgery on a broken collarbone, started the race to secure his championship points before pitting during an early caution on lap 13 to hand the car over to relief driver Parker Kligerman. Kligerman then drove a masterful race, surviving the chaos and taking the number 88 Junior Motorsports Chevy to victory lane. While Zilisch is officially credited with his 7th win of the season, tying a series rookie record, it was Kligerman who performed the celebratory burnouts. And over on the Cup side, well, a photo finish actually set the playoff field. So Saturday night's Cup race finale was a pressure cooker with 2 playoff spots still on the line. The race ended on a thrilling photo finish with Ryan Blaney edging Daniel Suarez by a mere 0.031 seconds to claim the victory. The most significant consequence of Blaney's win was, well, as a driver already locked into the playoffs, no new winner emerged to steal a spot. This meant the final 2 positions were decided on points, and those went to Tyler Reddick and Alex Bowman. For Bowman, it was an agonizing night. He was collected in a massive 12-car pileup on lap 27 that ended his race, forcing him to watch from the garage as his playoff fate rested in the hands of others. He actually made it. But moving over to some silly season news on the sprint car side, the 2025 season is in the midst of one of the most intriguing silly seasons in years, with major free agents and potential open seats creating a volatile marketplace. JMR's star-studded solution, well, In a major development, Jason Meyers Racing announced a multi-driver lineup to complete the high limit racing season in his number 14 car. The move is designed to ensure the team remains eligible for a lucrative high limit charter in 2026, which are now called franchises. I forgot to change that. While preliminary driver Corey Day pursues his NASCAR commitments. The star-studded rotation includes Darren Pittman, the former World of Outlaws champion, will drive at this weekend's Skagit Nationals, and Pittman is a two-time winner at Skagit. Then Trey Starks, the Washington native, will take the wheel for the Tuscarora 50 at Port Royal Speedway, a track where he has won twice before. And then Justin Sanders. The California standout will handle a bulk of the remaining schedule, including stops at Lernerville, Eldora, and the season finale in Texas. Then Schatz and Silva actually team up. 10-time champion Donny Schatz has secured a top-tier ride for the World of Outlaws' upcoming West Coast swing. He will actually pilot the Works Limited machine owned by Kevin Kozlowski and prepared by legendary crew chief Paul Silva. This is the same car that Spencer Baston has recently driven to a string of impressive finishes. The deal, set up by Sam Elker of JVI Group, will actually cover 6 races from Vado Speedway Park to Tulare, as Schatz continues to piece together rides to finish the season and maintain his position in the point standings. So, with that said, we have top free agents and open seats. Well, the driver market is fluid with several top names and teams in play. Top free agents: Donny Schatz, winless in 2025, Gio Scelzi, who parted ways with KCP Racing earlier this year, and Spencer Baston, who was actually fired after the Knoxville Nationals. Since joining forces with Paul Silva, uh, those are actually 3 of the biggest names without confirmed 2026 plans. So potential open seats, though, are Tony Stewart Racing, who is actually actively seeking a young driver for its flagship number 15 car. The future of the second Jason Meyers Racing team and its potential high limit charter is a major topic of discussion, as is the long-term plan for KCP Racing with fill-in driver Emerson Axel. But next up on the schedule, well, the action doesn't slow down. Here's where the top series are heading this weekend. High limit racing, the intense West Coast swing concludes with one of the richest events of the season, with the Skagit Nationals at Skagit Speedway in Washington, running from Thursday, tomorrow, August 28th, to Saturday, the 30th. The World of Outlaws, the greatest show on dirt, actually has a Houston Speedway for a 2-night event next weekend. And the All-Star Circuit of Champions actually head to Attica Raceway Park in Ohio for a huge 2-day show that they have every year, the Attica Ambush, starting Friday the 29th and ending August 30th, Saturday. My final thoughts? Well, this past week was a perfect snapshot of everything that makes motorsports so compelling. We witnessed history as Corey Day joined an exclusive club with Steve Kinser, proving that at just 19 years old, he is already a legend in the making. We saw dominance with Buddy Kofoid and Parker Price Miller putting their respective tours on notice with weekend sweeps that have actually shaken up the championship landscape. And we have experienced pure, unadulterated chaos at Daytona, where playoff dreams were realized and crushed in the blink of an eye. From the bull rings of California and North Dakota to the high banks of Daytona, the storylines are rich, the talent is deep, and the stakes are only getting higher as we head into the championship season. So, it's a great time to be a race fan. But that's going to do it for this episode. But remember, we bring you insane motorsports moments, professional breakdowns, and adrenaline-packed edits every single week. Whether you live for those sideways mudslinging dirt track sliders or the rubber squealing paint trading speed of NASCAR, you belong right here. Hit that subscribe button now so you never miss a finish. And until next time, keep switching grooves. I'm Russ Fritz saying race hard, stay safe, and we'll see you there. Good night, everyone.